Well, howdy, I'm John Mark Dempsey, and we're having our second cup of coffee conversation with Dr. Deana Steeber, Superintendent of Sulphur Springs ISD. School board met just in the last day or so, and you were recognizing all the kids who have it's just remarkable the success your kids are having in all kinds of activities, but choir, UIL, various UIL events, Skills USA. But what I was going to ask you about was I did see here very recently that Sulphur Springs High School is once again the UIL district champion, academic champion.
They are. They are the UIL academic district champions, yes.
How many, has that been several years in a row? Seems to me.
I know since I've been here, it has been every year. They have quite a record of long line of success in UIL academics. And
the thing that caught my attention about this was there was a Facebook post about the speech kids who won their events. Yeah. And they piled up 840 points, I think, to 205 for Paris, which was second place. I mean, they just totally dominated it completely.
They do, and they've done that the last couple of years. They're very, very talented. Very talented. Well,
it speaks well of the school district, speaks well of the kids and the parents and everybody. But what in UIL, for people that are not that familiar with it, what are in general the events in UIL academics?
Well,
anything and everything.
Yes, a little bit of everything. There's writing events, there's speaking events, there's math events. There's kind of the whole gamut. Lots of choices. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Different kinds of writing.
And you all won the state championship here, a couple of years ago?
Yes, in 23. Yes.
And that's
Sulphur Springs High School was the state champion.
And that's still ahead for this year.
It is still ahead, yes.
So we got a chance.
We certainly do.
You're saying we got a chance.
We do have a chance.
So that would be fantastic, and we'll be following that very closely. So I did see also that the STAAR test has been being administered. It was last week, and now this current week as we're speaking.
Yes, and then we still have some to come, later to come later this month.
Oh, it'll go on even beyond this week. So there's a lot of different opinions about STAAR test, and sometimes I think educators would just assume there not be a STAAR test or whatever we're calling it currently. But first of all, explain what the significance of the STAAR test is for students. And then we'll talk about what you like about it and what you don't like about it.
Sure. So it is certainly a high stakes test that our kids or that we're required to give as a public school in the state of Texas. So as they get older, the stakes get a little higher. In high school, they have to pass those end of course exams in order to graduate. So it's very high stakes for our high school students. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's the largest contributor to the how the state determines accountability scoring or ratings for school districts.
Yeah, and so if a school district does not do well, then there are penalties, at least potentially for the school. Yes, there
are penalties, and
district.
It's the bulk of that is one day a year. Based on how that child performs. One day a year on a test, and then assuming that it's the test is valid and everything. But yes, it is. It's the largest factor in the accountability system.
I know some teachers feel that they're put in the position of, as they say, teaching to the test, and I suppose that is inevitable and under the circumstances.
Yeah, in an ideal world, what should happen is the test should measure what was taught. Mm-hmm. And it, while we always want to start with the end in mind, like, what's our goal? What are we working towards? We certainly we don't want that test to be, our only focus. We want our kids to be able to explore and create and, all of those kinds of things that are so important in a child's development and learning, versus just this test.
Well, as the state legislature is meeting, there is some discussion of changing the STAAR test, maybe coming up again with yet again another test, which you pointed out happens frequently. If you could make any changes, what would they be? Anything you would want to change in particular?
Oh, gosh. I have a lot I would want to change about the STAAR test. Just the, I think it's most educators. It's not necessarily that we don't want accountability, because some measure of accountability is reasonable and certainly acceptable. But we don't want the entire profession judged on one day of testing each year, and that's kind of where we've gotten to. And kind of going into this legislative session, we heard there were people that wanted to do away with the STAAR test, and really what that's turned into now is maybe we're going to do away with it. We're going to replace it with something else. But that's been going on for decades.
Call it something else.
Like it was the TEAMS test, and then the TOS test, and then the TAX test, and then STAAR, and then STAAR 2.0.
Right. So maybe more flexibility.
I think
in how it is interpreted and
yes.
We'll see what comes out of Austin. We're out of time, but within the next few weeks, then we'll have groundbreaking on the new Sulphur Springs Elementary School.
Yes, we should have. It should be within the next 3 weeks. Hopefully, by the end of this week, we'll have a date to push out to our community.
And we'll be watching for that. Great. Dr. Deana Steeber, Superintendent of the Sulphur Springs ISD, thanks for having that second cup of coffee with us again.
Thank you.
I'm John Mark Dempsey. This is KSST.